I'm a disgruntled Eagles fan, and we're awesome.
Hey disgruntled, this is going to be a little bit of a longer video. Sorry that I didn't post the recap of the Chargers game and then the preview of the Broncos game, but I'm going to be doing that in this video. And also I'm going to be doing the Eagles and Broncos recap video. This is going to be the main focus of this video. It's not going to be focusing on what I just said with the Chargers and then the preview with the Broncos and Eagles. And you may explain, how are you going to do that with the Broncos if it's already played? How are you going to predict something as has already happened? And with the Broncos-Eagles preview video or a little section of this video, I'm just going to insert what I kind of predicted on the podcast, League of the Wings. Go check it out. Co-host with Titus Oldham. I kind of did a little prediction there. It wasn't much in depth, but it was at least something. I did have the Eagles winning against the Broncos. I didn't really go too in depth into it, but it's better than nothing, and I can't really do a prediction about a game that has already happened. And with the Eagles, Chargers recap, let's begin that there. And I'm going to segment this into different segments with timestamps. So if you want to skip ahead to the Eagles Broncos, you can do right that. It's going to be right in this video, so you can just skip ahead to that. If you want to skip ahead to the preview game with the Broncos, you can do that, and then the recap, etc., etc. You know how this goes. But let's start with the Eagles-Chargers recap video. Boy, oh boy, this was closer than I was expecting. I thought the Chargers was going to blow out the Eagles for the sole purpose or for the sole reason why the Eagles lost, and that was because of Justin Herbert. I thought Justin Herbert was going to go off, and I didn't think that the Eagles' offense was going to be capable of keeping up with them and making it as close as they did. But what surprised me in this game is how well the Eagles played. I wasn't shocked about how Justin Herbert played. He had 32 completions, 38 attempts for 356 yards, 2 touchdowns. I thought what surprised me most about that stat line, I guess, is that he had such a good completion rate, 32 completions, 38 attempts, which was absurd. That's crazy to find this league, and that's just terrible by the Eagles. He was just lighting us up. But what I came to a result to in the past couple of videos is that we are very, very, very good at stopping below average to nearly average quarterbacks, but terrible at stopping a slightly above average to and above. We're terrible at stopping quarterbacks like Justin Herbert and any skill level above Justin Herbert, which is not a good sign if we want to make any kind of run this year, but I don't think we are going to make any run this year nonetheless. If that's not going to be like the leading factor if we're going to make a run or not. But if we somehow end up into the playoffs with that wild card seed, then it's going to be our first round exit. How we're going to get first round exit, because every quarterback in the playoffs will be above Justin Herbert's level or at Justin Herbert's level. Let's switch gears to the offense. Jalen Hertz is looking really good since the Detroit game. He didn't really get going this game. He had 11 completions, 17 attempts, 162 yards, 1 touchdown. Nothing too exciting. The thing that I am most impressed about that stat line is his completion percentage. He seems to be getting more and more accurate, more smart with the ball. He's trying to find players down the field. He looks like he's widening his depth of field to open receivers, actually getting the ball down to them. The thing that I'm most impressed about this game, or about the offense in particular, is we're finally starting to run the football. It's insane how much we're running the football, and I'm loving it. It's keeping us in games. It's draining the clock. It's putting all control onto us and onto the offense, and we have full control of these games. We had 17, 20, 30, 39 total rushes this game. 17 carries by Jordan Howard, 10 carries by Jalen Hertz, 10 carries by Boston Scott, and 2 carries by Kenneth Gainwell. The past 3 games, including the Broncos one, I'll later get into that in the recap, but Jordan Howard is going off. He had 17 carries, 71 yards, 4.2 average, 1 touchdown. That's hell of a game. I mean, I guess his yards could be a little bit higher, but I love that he has 17 carries. That is freaking incredible. And Jalen Hertz is just doing Jalen Hertz things, but it's just, this is what gets us in games, and this is what wins this game. We had control of this football game through most of the game, or throughout. I believe we had control throughout this entire game. The only reason why we lost is because we were getting smoked by Herbert. Our defense just couldn't find an answer to stop Herbert. But our time of possession was absolutely crazy. This is how you control games. This is how you drain the clock, by running 39 times. I mean, sure, there's probably some moments where we shouldn't have ran the ball, but everyone's averaging 4+ yards per carry average, which is really good. And Kenneth Gainwell, I thought we were going to be using him a little bit more, but he only has 2 carries, 3 yards, and a touchdown. I guess he's just that third down back, kind of like how Boston Scott is for us. But I want to see more of Kenneth Gainwell. I guess they're seeing something in Gainwell that they're not really liking. But personally, he's been good to decent all year, and I just like more out of him, or just to see more reps from him, just to see what he does. So I'm loving what's coming from him. Jordan Howard is a beast. I've always loved Jordan Howard from the moment we signed him on this team. I was so freaking confused why we signed him to the practice squad, or like demoted him to the practice squad, because I'm like, Jordan Howard is a starter in this league, or at least a second back that you can count on to switch. He's decent. He's very good. He had 3 1,000-yard rushing seasons with the Chicago Bears before traded to the Eagles. 3 1,000-yard seasons straight. 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons, which is absurd. Very rare to come on. That's top-level running back game. And for him to be demoted to practice squad it just doesn't make any sense, because when he was a starter on the Eagles, he was very good. Or at least decent enough to be at least second or maybe even third string at his worst. But he was he was a on-the-team kind of guy. I have no reason why, or no logical conclusion why we demoted him to practice squad to the point where we almost cut him. He's a beast. He's big. He knows how to run. He has very good vision. He knows how to cut very well. I love Jordan Howard. But I'm loving to see that we're running a crap ton more in these last 3 games. Lions, Chargers, and then the Broncos game. I'm loving how much we're running the football. This is what makes you win games. I'm kind of feel bad for Sanders, though, because he hasn't been really seeing this. He got injured, then we started to run the ball a crap ton. Ever since the Raiders, we've been running the ball a crap ton, and we've been 2-1 since then. Large fact is due to the fact that we are running the ball. Yeah, I'm loving what I'm seeing out of Devontae Smith. He's actually being targeted, and he's catching the ball. 5 receptions, 116 yards, a touchdown. Absurd. Great stats. Before this season, we rarely had 100-yard receivers. It's very rare to come across that with the Eagles. I'm loving what I'm seeing out of him. Dallas Goedert, 3 receptions, 43 yards. Those were the top or 2 leading receivers in this game. It was a run-heavy game, so we didn't really see any crazy stat lines with the receivers except for Smith. Smith is finding ways to get open and creating big plays. Our rushing game this game was very good. I don't know if that's because it was a Justin Herbert show or what that was, but I'm liking what I'm seeing with the run game, or at least in this isolated game. Austin Eckler, top running back in this league, top 10, 17 carries, 59 yards, 0 touchdowns, 3.5 average, which is very great in controlling this game. I'm liking what I'm seeing, or I liked what I see on the run defense, but our pass defense was atrocious. Herbert was lighting us up every which way. Keenan Allen, 12 receptions, 104 yards. Mike Williams, 2 receptions, 58 yards. It's just a bunch of receptions. It's just crazy how much they were able to go up and down the field on us with ease. It was just frustrating to watch. I didn't watch the entire game because I was recording Kids with the Forced Parents with Lee Seals. Go check that out. But it was just really frustrating to see that our lack of defense just couldn't stop them. And if we stopped them for a couple drives, we would have won. It was just very frustrating to watch, definitely towards the end of the game. And it was a killer last-second field goal for the Chargers to win and carry on. Now, I'm going to fade in to the predictions, what I kind of said and predicted about the Broncos. It's very short. It's like a minute long, couple minutes long, about what I kind of think this game is going to head in what directions or whatever. So yeah.
You got Philly versus Denver. Again, I'm doing a preview video on this, so I'm not going to dive too deep into it. But this is a big matchup in our roommate dynamic just because I'm an Eagles fan. Trey's a Broncos fan, so it's going to be interesting. We're going to be rooting against each other, and it's going to be really fun to watch.
You have the Eagles?
I have the Eagles.
I have the Eagles.
Oh, wow. You think the Eagles are better?
I don't think
elite.
they're better.
You think the Eagles are elite? Do you? Please just tell me if they're elite or not.
I just think they're going to take some games still. Like, they're still going to hover just under the .500 mark, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of where I see them.
I see them there, too. I just think they have the potential, or I think they're going to have the intangibles to beat Denver and get a win, get a dub.
All right, I hope you like that prediction. Now let's get to the Broncos-Eagles recap. I just have to look up Broncos-Eagles real quick into Google because I just need some stat lines to support my case if I have any points I need to bring up with. Jalen Hertz, this is probably his best game of the year. His stats don't really show it. 16 for 23, 178 yards, 2 touchdowns and an interception. Now you look at that and it's like, wait a second, that can't be his best game. He had a stellar game against the Falcons, or he had a decent game against the Lions. But no, I think he was making a lot smarter reads. He was a crap ton more accurate. Yeah, the only big mistake was that bad interception. Quarterbacks aren't perfect in this league. Wow, big shocker. And you're bound to make those mistakes. He's still we can call him rookie, second year rookie is what I like to call it, or term that. But he's still learning. He's bound to make those silly mistakes. And yeah, it's just ridiculous. It shouldn't be ridiculed about that. And our running game is still prevalent. I'm loving this running game that we are persisting on. Like I said earlier, 3 straight games where we're just running the ball down the opponent's throats, and it's winning us games. Jordan Howard, 12 carries, 83 yards. Boston Scott, 11 carries, 81 yards. Jalen Hertz, 14 carries, 53 yards. Gainwell, 2 carries, 5 yards. Jalen Reagor, 1 carry, -8 yards. But very great game running the ball. We controlled this game due to running, and I'm loving how we are running the ball. 6.9 average for Jordan Howard, 7.4 average for Boston Scott. Unheard of averages for running. I'm loving the fact that Nick Sirianni finally woke up and fucking is starting to run the ball down the opponent's throats. I'm loving it. The after-game celebration is a great thing to see because it seems like the team really loves Nick Sirianni. It's starting to bond. It's what I like to see. I've been hard on Nick Sirianni. I think every Eagles fan has been hard on Nick Sirianni the past few games, for rightfully so, because of his stupid-ass play calling. But we don't hate Nick Sirianni. It's just that he hasn't proven to us why we should like Nick Sirianni. We want Nick Sirianni to succeed. We want to love him, and we just need him to prove it to us. Reasons why we should love him. We don't want to hate him. We don't want to dislike him. And this is a good step in the right directions. We're 2-1 in the last 3 games. I mean, to be granted, it was against the Detroit Lions, kind of average team with the Chargers, and kind of another average team with the Broncos. We handled an average team really good. I think the Broncos are fakers. They've beat some good teams, I guess, but it was kind of off chances. It's just a weird time in the NFL. We're going to get that. I'm going to get to that in the podcast, League of Their Wings. But it's just a weird time in the NFL. You can't really gauge who's good, who's bad, except for the couple of teams who are on top. But I feel like it's very week to week. He's going to perform good. He's going to perform bad. He's going to beat who. He's going to beat how, by how much, etc., etc. Nonetheless, Eagles dominated this game. It was a weird third quarter because I believe we were up by 10 going into the half or going into the third quarter, and Broncos had 2 possessions where they could have scored touchdowns. One, we stopped them for a field goal. We had a block field goal, which they took off a field goal off the board. And then they ran down the field, fumble, Darius returns it to the house, touchdown for us. So it was kind of a weird moment in time or weird series of events that led us to this margin of lead. It could have been a lot closer than it was. A couple things went our way, and we were able to go up by 17 points, which is a great thing. And a point on Darius Slay, he made up for having a bad game against the Chargers because he was getting smoked left and right, but he made up for it in this game. He had a dominant performance. And the return reminded me a lot of Deshaun Jackson because he when he was picking up, he was kind of muffing. He picked it up, then fumbled it, muffed it, and then picked it up again and ran it for a touchdown, i.e. to Deshaun Jackson, Miracle in the Meadowlands 2. He muffed the punt, picked it up, returned it to the house for a touchdown. So both very similar types of plays, both very entertaining to watch. I was screaming, you can see the reaction. Go over to the fan reaction, see my reactions to that and Titus's reaction. That was one of my favorite plays to watch. It was an emotional roller coaster because I was very confused on what was happening. Was it a fumble? What was Darius Slay doing? But it turned out to be he knew what he was doing. I shouldn't ever question Darius Slay, but it was a very entertaining play to watch nonetheless. Devontae Smith balled out again. 4 receptions, 66 yards, 2 touchdowns. His third touchdown in 2 games. He's playing lights out so far. Play him in fantasy. I made the mistake of not playing him in fantasy this week, and it's going to lose me the game. But Quez Watkins, that bomb to him, man, I would really love for him to catch that ball and score the touchdown. That would have been a beautiful play. Jalen Hertz threw a dime on him. He should have caught the ball. It would have upped Jalen Hertz' stats a lot. 17 completions, 23 yards, and probably around 220 yards for him. And 3 touchdowns, so it would have padded his stats a little bit more. But Jalen Hertz, that's why I say that Jalen Hertz had such a great game because of that drop or missed opportunity that he had. So yeah, it was very disappointing in that drop, but in all, it didn't lose us the game. I'll be more pissed if it lost us the game. Dallas Goedert down with an injury. It looks like he's going to be out for a couple weeks, I believe, because he did get hit in the head, and I believe the concussion protocol is that he has to sit at least a game after the thing, or maybe 2. So yeah, the concussion protocol is very confusing. I can't really keep up with it. I think it just varies between events. Now, our defense played lights out. They controlled this game. They stopped the Broncos offense pretty much. The only thing that I was worried about is that our run game is not there. Our run game was terrible this game. The only reason why it doesn't look like we didn't do that bad is because Williams and Gordon didn't have high carries, so it means that they had low yardage. Williams had 8 carries, 48 yards. Gordon, 9 carries, 45 yards, and a touchdown. 6 average for Williams, 5 average for Gordon. They were playing lights out, and we couldn't stop them. If they were leading, they would probably run more. And yeah, Gordon cost them the game too with that fumble. I think after that fumble, that sealed the deal. We basically won. All momentum went our way. Teddy Bridgewater, 22 completions, 36 yards, or 36 attempts for 226 yards. Dink and dunk, Teddy Dog Water, as people are calling it, or as Trey is saying it. I should probably have Trey in here on his input. Actually, that's a good idea. I'm going to go do that after this. Our defense actually stopped them a few times like they needed. It's just I would like to see our run game to stop more or be better. And our offensive line is very, very, very good. In the our run offensive line is very good. They created big holes the last 3 games, and especially in this game. They've allowed openings for our running backs to get through and actually gain some yardage, which I'm very impressed. It's very exciting to see, and it seems like we're staying healthy in those respects. That's all I've got to say. This was a great whole team effort to win and beat the Broncos. This was a really feel-good game for the Eagles because every aspect of the team played really well. Good play calling, good defensive effort, good offensive effort, all around very, very good. I'm going to go and try to get Trey right now. I hear him on the phone right now, so I don't know if he's going to be available, but that's going to be funny to get his input on what I think the Eagles are, so I'll be right back.
This is what the loser seat feels like, right?
Yeah, so I forced Trey to be in this video. I'm like, Trey, if you don't be in this video, we're not friends anymore. No, I'm just joking. So, what did you think of the game?
Let's just say to all the Eagles and Birds fans that, coming from a Broncos fans, you guys showed up. I think you guys can finish 11-6. I really do. I think you guys can win out. If you play like this every game, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, it was against a trash Broncos team, but that's my team.
I mean, they're not all bad. They're 5-5. They're average.
Okay, so we lost to a Browns with Case Keenum and like 9,000 injuries.
Wait, is the Broncos injured, Phil? Do the Broncos have a lot of injuries?
We did, but Jerry Jeudy's back. Our only like main guy who was hurt was Garrett Bowles. He was our starting right guard. He's done. Not done, but he's out for a few weeks. But like he was done. That was really it. Teddy Bridgewater just played really fucking bad. This man did not... I think I saw in a post he threw like maybe 3 or 4 deep balls the whole game.
Dang, I didn't realize
like he was throwing check down passes the whole fucking game, and it was pissing me off. Even though I didn't watch too much of it. I just watched like the last half because I was doing homework. Yeah, I think what needs to happen is we need to draft a quarterback, and we need to draft, if at all possible, a new head coach. And Teddy Bridgewater is a good backup quarterback, and that's all he'll ever be. Yeah. That's pretty much what I got out of this.
He's a good backup quarterback.
I thought maybe, honestly, my hope was gone for the whole season when we lost 3 in a row. I was like, oh, we're done. When we beat the Cowboys, I had a small glimmer of hope because I was like, oh my God, we beat a 6-1 Cowboys team. We're good. And then fucking Teddy was like, all right, there's a highlight reel for the backup job of my next team. We're good. And I don't know if you guys have seen the play when Darius Slay picked up Melvin Gordon's fumble, which was probably the turning point of the game of any chance of coming back. But anyways, even though that was shitty in itself, if you watch the play when Darius Slay is just running down the field, Teddy Bridgewater had a wide open chance to tackle this man, and he just literally let him.
Blockers in front of him. Blockers in front of him.
Run by him. Mans is gone.
I want to say a thank you from the entire Eagles fan base for helping us out this year. You beat the Giants, you beat Washington, you beat the Cowboys, you lost us. You're helping the Eagles make a good path for maybe the division.
I swear, all we're doing is helping the NFC East this year. That's all we're doing. Broncos fans are just helping the Eagles this year. Y'all better thank us for handing you this dub. Literally letting you walk into the end zone.
I think if it wasn't for the block field goal and the return for the fumble recovery, we would have lost, not gonna lie. If it wasn't for that series of events, you guys would have easily won because you guys were going down the field handedly.
Alright, that's all I got.
Yeah. Thank you.
And fuck!